New Scotland Yard number 6, production number 1596, recording date 3373, take 1.
Would you mind pulling over there, sir?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, officer. What's the trouble?
Just a routine check, sir. Could I see your driving licence, please?
Show the officer your licence, Alfie.
Could we take a look in the boot, sir?
Oh. Be my guest, but make it quick. I've got a business to run.
And what sort of business is that, sir?
There you are. Justin Toller Washaterias. Perhaps you'd like to come in one day and wash your undies. We have a special discount, you know, for the boys in blue.
The reason for your journey, sir?
Opening new premises, my son. Or trying to. Only it's difficult to break into things in the big city.
I'm sorry to have troubled you, sir. Safe journey.
Sorry to have troubled you. It's like taking candy from a kiddie. Hey, Alfie?
Come in.
Thank you.
I've been expecting you.
Just been to have another look at the scene.
The London and Oxford Bank?
Yes, sir.
How much did they get away with it exactly? Do we know yet?
Over 200,000 in cash.
That's a lot of money. Any leads yet?
Not really, but it's only 24 hours old.
You want help from Regional Crime Squad?
Well, I could certainly use the extra manpower.
And their officer in charge to assist you?
2 heads are usually better than 1.
Also, they say. I've anticipated your needs, Kingdom.
Thank you, sir.
You'll be assisted by Chief Superintendent Piggott. You know each other, I believe.
Yes, sir. We were at training school together.
Excellent. I am sure he'll be very helpful. He'll be in your office at 9:30.
Thank you, sir. Make yourself at home, Mr. Piggott. Thank you. I have. Would it trouble you too much if I used my own desk?
Oh,
But of course. Thank you.
An attractive woman.
My wife.
Oh, yes, your wife.
Meaning what?
Nothing.
exactly, but I mean, one can't help but hear rumours. I understood you had some difficulties there.
Even if I had, it wouldn't be your business, would it?
My dear Kingdom, of course not. A man's private life is his private life. No offence meant.
Let me bring you up to date.
Thank you.
The West End branch of the London and Oxford Bank is here. Sometime between 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. the night before last, thieves cut and diverted the main electricity cable under a manhole here, entered the yard at the back of this office block, up the fire escape, over the roof, and into the bank by this skylight.
And no one reported an electricity failure?
Now, they selected the cable which only covers this section of road. They knew what they were doing. It's all offices, no residents.
Well, I'll get my boys to check with the electricity board. They must have had an inside contact.
Well, quite possibly. They broke through the ceiling on the top floor, entered the main bank building through this door, and then came down to the room directly above the vault.
Yeah, and no one heard a thing, I suppose. Yeah. I thought most banks had a direct alarm through to the local police station. Not this one?
Yes, but it was electrically operated.
Oh, yes.
This door was unlocked. Anyway, they smashed through the floor into the vault itself, and then used a thermic lance on the vault door.
Yeah. Anything from the lab on the equipment they left behind?
My Sergeant Ward's there now. I have no high hopes. Yes.
Good morning, sir. This is Sergeant Patton. He was working on roadblocks.
Fine. Anything?
Not very much, sir.
Excuse me.
Well, let's see what you've got there.
King. Ah, yes, Alan. What have they got for us?
17 of the drivers we stopped had forms, sir. This is the only interesting one, Justin Toller. I stopped him myself. No convictions for 4 years, but does have 2 for robbery and 1 for a bank a few years ago. His file is with Method Index. I got the details from the DF.
Toller. Is he a Londoner?
No, Birmingham, sir. No contacts here, apparently. Brand new Jag, not short of money.
Yeah, you searched the car?
Yes, sir, nothing.
Well, why was he coming to London?
Well, he said he wanted to buy more shops.
And I fail to see why he should be interested.
And then come straight back here. All right. The labs say they can tie someone in for us after we found a suspect.
A great help.
I've told Ward to stop off at CRO on the way back, pick up the files from Method Index. Maybe they'll give us a start. Now, stolen vehicles. They must have used a getaway vehicle of some sort.
Hello, George. What are you doing here?
Been called in to hold your hand.
Now pull the other one.
No, straight. You want manpower, crime squad's got it. And guess who's working on this job with your Mr. Kingdom?
Thrill me.
My boss, Piggott.
Oh, great. We need him like a hole in the head. Couldn't they give us a proper policeman?
Well, you should moan. I've got him all the time.
They should give you a medal and a chainmail vest for when he stabs you in the back.
Oh, I'm safe. Too low down the promotion scale, me. I'm no threat to him.
Maybe not. Kingdom is.
Could be. Where does he fancy his Kingdom's job?
Why not? Kingdom's certain of the next rank from his spot.
Well, he's got no chance. Unless Kingdom drops a real clanger.
Yeah. And Piggott's just snide enough to make sure that he does.
No, it couldn't happen.
Oh, I don't know. Piggott would have that knife in and out of him before he saw it coming. My God, whose bright idea was it to put those two together? Everybody knows they hate each other's guts.
Well, what is it with them, anyway?
I don't know. It goes back years. Something happened when they were at training school together.
Well, they seem to have buried the hatchet for now. They're having coffee together at the moment.
Won't last.
What?
I said it won't last.
Ah, Alan. This is Chief Superintendent Piggott, Sergeant Ward. Mr. Piggott will be working with us.
Yes, I've just heard.
Sergeant Patton, I'd like you to get on to the area superintendent of the electricity board. See if they have any employees working in that section they're not too happy about.
Understood, sir.
These are the files from Method Index, sir.
Ah, fine. That should be enough to be getting on with.
There would have been twice as many possibilities, but the rest are inside or gone abroad or whatever.
Bayliss, Toller, Waters, Royal. Yes. Birmingham boy Toller, no known contacts in London. Bayliss, a London lad, but now resident in Totnes, Devon. Well, maybe. Waters. Age 57, bit old for scaling roofs. And Royal. Now, there's a likely-looking lad. Age 34, London boy. All the right form.
And the last job he did, he bypassed the electrical alarm circuits.
Right, well, get your lads onto this lot, will you?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Now then, informants.
Oh.
Well, look, you can't set up a job of this size without the word getting round.
No, but I'm never too happy about the use of informants.
They have their place. Now, surely one or two of your lads must have someone they can talk to.
Well, I'm sure they have.
And you?
Oh, I'm sure I have, sir.
Off you go, Randy. There's work to be done. There you go. Get me Mr. Royal at his office. It's a London number. You've got it on the list.
Yes, Janet.
Mr. Toller for you, sir.
Put him on. Hello, Justin. Nice to hear from you.
I just thought you'd like to know the goods have been delivered.
Fine. Is everything to your liking?
You're a pleasure to do business with. When shall we see you up this way again? Everything has been laid on to make your trip worthwhile.
Good, good. But I'm expecting some visitors before then, you know what I mean? As soon as I've dealt with them, I'll give you a ring.
Don't let your visitors detain you too long, Peter.
No chance. I'll ring you. Tell her.
Au revoir, Peter. You never get enough, do you, Randy?
Hello, Mr. Ward. Blimey, it is cold.
Oh, get off, Taters. It's over 70 in here. You're always the same.
It's my blood, thin, see? The doctor says I should live in the south of France for my health.
Sure, you should be so lucky. How's the wife?
Doctors?
Listen, you heard about that bank job on Monday night?
Yeah, lovely done, wasn't it? Lovely done. Should have a fire in here. Real taters it is.
I want a name.
Come off it, Mr. Ward.
There's money about.
I wouldn't dare. They'd shoot my legs off. Ought to be a law against it.
Against what?
Library without a fire tain't right.
The insurance reward alone will be enough to buy you a villa in the south of France.
Yeah?
Gold-plated hot water bottle to go with it, so how about it?
Well, I did hear. This geezer was setting up a real big job.
Like who?
Difficult to remember.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
It's just talk, you know. Peter Royal.
Taters, I think you may have hit the jackpot. Keep talking.
That's all there is, just talk.
Not enough.
Well, I don't know if it helps, but two of his boys have disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yeah, no one's seen them around, they just disappeared. Your Mr. Kingdom's in charge of this case, isn't he?
Kingdom and Piggott.
Oh, don't trust that Piggott. Oh, no.
It's Kingdom, they hate each other's guts. You just forget I said that, right?
Yes, Mr. Ward, whatever you say.
You do yourself a big favour. Exercise those grubby ears of yours. And keep in touch.
All right, well, thank you for your trouble, Mr. Mays. Yeah.
We found a van abandoned, sir. It could have been used for the job.
Well?
A Ford Transit, stolen 4 days ago in Streatham, found in Camden Lane. Here, sir. The lab's got it at the moment.
Was anything in it?
4 pairs of rubber gloves, 4 stockings and a sledgehammer, sir.
Uh-huh.
How many miles on the clock since it was stolen?
About 15, sir.
Anything else?
Well, it's a bit of a long shot.
Well?
A PC about a quarter of a mile from the bank remembered seeing a van that morning. It could have been this one. And the driver could have been a villain called Martin.
What do we know about him?
Well, he's been a driver on several jobs, and for the past 2 or 3 years said to have been working for Peter Royal.
That's it, then. It's Peter Royal. Yeah, I've just left an informant. He puts Royal's name in the frame as well.
Is he reliable, this informant?
Has been in the past.
I think Mr. Royal's due for a visit.
Oh, hardly, I should say. There's not enough evidence.
Look, if he's got the cash, some of it will be identifiable.
But he'll show you the door.
Get a warrant.
Have you seen his file? 2 previous complaints against police.
What do you suggest we do? Nothing?
I advise caution. He's a dangerous piece of work.
I welcome advice, not negative advice.
Listen, Ray, for these people, we can go down 0.5%. Yeah, why not? Sign them up. What? Well, it still represents 18% true rate, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, I'll see you. Yes, Janet.
The Chief Superintendent Kingdom, the Sergeant Ward, to see you, sir.
Send him in.
Very well, sir.
Well, gentlemen, what can I do for you? A donation to a police charity, perhaps?
We're investigating a bank break at the London and Oxford Bank last Monday night.
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
Oh, keep your cuttings, do you?
Oh, he's got a sense of humour, your mate.
I'd like you to account for your movements between 6 p.m. on Monday and 8 a.m. on Tuesday.
Well, since you asked so politely, I'll tell you. Embarrassing though it may be.
Well, if you wouldn't mind.
I had an appointment with my accountant last Monday evening. A very worthy man, you understand, but inclined to drink. As a matter of fact, neither of us can take it very much. And I'm not going too fast for you, am I? The upshot being that we both got very drunk.
Oh, and you don't remember a thing after that?
Oh, yes, I do. We both got nicked. Drunk and disorderly.
And?
Sorry to disappoint you. I spent the night in West End Central Police Station. I didn't leave court till 11 o'clock Tuesday morning.
What time were you arrested?
I don't remember. I was drunk.
Approximately.
10, 10:30, 11.
And between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m.?
Well, I just told you I was drinking with my accountant.
What's his name and address?
Charlie Brown. He's got an office just across the landing.
Where were you drinking?
Well, we started off in a pub across the road. Then we went on to Jimmy's. That's a club.
Yes, I know it.
And there were plenty of people in both places who saw us.
Names?
I don't know. You better ask Charlie Brown.
Well, we will, but let's have some from you.
Call off your boy, Mr. Kingdom. I'm not going to answer any more stupid questions.
I have a warrant here to search these premises and the flat upstairs for stolen banknotes.
I haven't got any stolen banknotes. Still, if you insist.
I do. I opened the safe.
Do you think if I really did have any stolen cash here, I'd keep it in such an obvious place?
Open it.
Please.
Please open the safe, Mr. Royal, if it's not too much trouble.
No trouble, Mr. Kingdom. No trouble at all.
Have you checked Royal's alibi?
Not yet.
I'll get my lads to do it then.
Yes, do, but it'll be watertight.
You don't know that.
I don't count my toes every morning, but I know they're there. The point is it's too watertight, deliberately created.
Well, even if it was, Royal couldn't have done the job.
Not personally.
No, exactly. So next time, perhaps you'll be rather more inclined to take my advice. Calling on him really was a worthless exercise.
Not entirely.
What, with no money, a flat denial and an alibi?
He may not have done the job himself. I still think he was involved.
But you can't prove it.
Not yet, but if and
Look,
when we...
may I suggest a 24-hour observation?
You can suggest it, but it's not on.
And why not, pray?
12 men to watch one on a 24-hour basis. 6 shifts, 2 men for each shift. Now, how many men can we afford to tie up like that? Only takes one man to turn his back for 1 minute, and he's gone. Where's the sense?
Now who's being negative? I still say we should have Royal and Toller watched.
Toller? Why Toller?
Oh, we stopped him in a roadblock at the south end of the M1 on the morning after the job, sir.
You two leave us alone for a minute, will you? Now, perhaps you'll explain why you withheld a potentially vital piece of information from me.
His file is over there. You should have looked through it yourself before now.
But you knew you could have told me. Why didn't you?
I didn't think it was relevant.
And why did you want Toller watched as well as Royal?
Well, I just thought...
Think as much as you like, but in future tell me everything. Whether you think it's relevant or not, understand?
Oh, save your lectures for that cocky young sergeant of yours.
I lecture him, too.
If Chief Superintendent Piggott's still waiting, send him in. Come in.
Good afternoon, sir. Sorry to bother you. It's this bank inquiry, if you could spare a moment.
I can. Have you seen this morning's paper?
Yes, I have.
Well, what about it?
Perhaps I shouldn't be saying this.
I won't know that till you've said it, will I?
Well, I'm afraid I'm rather presuming on the fact that you and I have known each other a long time, and that
I
once
haven't
we...
forgotten. But that was before you got left behind, wasn't it?
Oh, well, please don't think I ever grudged you your promotion. You deserved it.
Thank you. I suppose you get to the point?
It's about Kingdom.
I thought it might be.
I hardly like to say this, sir, but I think we might have a better chance of success if I had more control. I find Kingdom a trifle negative in his approach.
That's unusual for him.
To be frank, sir, if I could be placed in charge of the
Not
case...
possible, and well you know it.
Well, I'm only thinking of the inquiry, sir.
Oh, I'm sure there's no self-interest here. The fact remains, I have no grounds for replacing Kingdom. Have I?
Well, there's nothing concrete, sir.
Exactly.
Bastard Royal, it's got to be him.
Or Toller.
Well, he was clean when George Patton stopped him.
So, if it was him, he dropped the cash somewhere.
It was just a roadblock. You know, they couldn't have searched the car very thoroughly, particularly as they didn't know who Toller was until they checked on him at CRO.
No, it wasn't in the car when they stopped it. That much cash is pretty bulky. You can't hide it under a car seat. No, he dropped it somewhere, if he ever had it.
He's no contacts in London, as far as we know.
As far as we know. Yeah, maybe he put it in a bank.
I'm glad you can find some humour in the situation.
It's hard work, but I do try. Yeah.
Looks as if our boys have been at it again, sir. 140,000 stolen in cash, identical method.
Where?
Birmingham.
What price a watch on Royal and Toller now?
Who's in charge of the case?
Chief Inspector Downey.
Right, well, we better get somebody to phone him. Tell him we're coming up to Birmingham to interview Toller.
Right.
And get a warrant.
Right.
Oh, look, you'll get the same from him as you got from Royal. Nothing.
You have a better idea?
I'll wait and see what Downey comes up with and then have a conference to plan the next move.
Look, I want results. Sometimes you have to take a calculated risk to get them. Now, do you want to come with me?
I think not.
Stop fiddling with that watch. You give me the twitches. Time you came in, Randy. There we go. There we are, my beauty.
This seems a waste of time. They may not come today.
Listen, Frank, I pay you to waste as much time as I say, right?
Yes, but I...
Listen, Frank, who else would pay you in junk? I can buy another solicitor any time you say the word. Are you in or out? Well?
I'm in.
Yes. Right, send them in. They're here. Out you go, and when I say you come in fighting. Well, now, quite a deputation.
You remember me, Toller?
Could I ever forget you, Mr. Downey?
This is Chief Superintendent Kingdom from New Scotland Yard, and Sergeant Ward.
Well, now, welcome to Birmingham, both.
Mr. Toller, we're investigating 2 bank robberies. One in London on Monday night, the other one last night here in Birmingham.
My, you must be busy. And understaffed, too, I expect.
Cut the nonsense, Toller. Where were you when these jobs were done?
Frank! This is my solicitor. We're expanding the business fast. Frank and I have been working together late this week, sometimes all night.
Absolutely correct.
Including Monday?
What?
No, Monday I was away on business.
What business?
Confidential business. But last night we had an all-night session, didn't we, Frank?
Certainly. And since my client was with me, he could not possibly be implicated in this crime.
Would you be prepared to make a statement to that effect, giving details of both your movements?
Certainly not. You've no right to demand it.
I'm not demanding. Simply asking in the best interests of your client.
I'll be the judge of that. And now I insist you search his premises, so there'll be no excuse for you to come and pester him again.
Thank you. I was intending to.
I beg your pardon. You admit you're proposing to conduct a search without the consent of my client, presumably using force if necessary. The keys, please, Mr. Toller. Anything else you wish to see?
I think not.
Well, now, the rest of the building.
Get your men round, will you?
Well, certainly, but...
Go with them, Mr. Toller.
You wouldn't plant anything on me, would you? Let me show you the way, Mr. Downey. Jimmy, dear boy, there are some police officers here who want to have a look around. Show them everything, will you? He will, too.
You won't find anything here or at Mr. Toller's house, so that being so, I suggest you finish your business and leave.
Yes, I will. When? I've finished. Now, Mr. Toller, I'd like you to give me a statement accounting for all your movements during the past week.
Not asking much, are you? I don't keep a diary, you know.
I have already told you my client was with me at the relevant time.
Not on Monday night. Now, if you have nothing to hide, Mr. Toller, then there's no reason why you shouldn't cooperate. In your own best interests, I strongly advise you to do so.
I will advise my client, Mr. Kingdom.
Then please do.
I advise him to deny any allegation of involvement in any crime. Beyond that, to decline to answer any further questions.
Why?
He's entitled to.
Well, certainly. But if he's innocent
He
of
is
any
innocent,
criminal...
and as an innocent man, has a right to protection from police harassment.
And that's your last word.
It is.
Mr. Toller.
If that's what he advises.
You have a note of this conversation, Sergeant. Then we needn't trouble you any longer, gentlemen. Thank you.
I must inform him I shall be lodging an official complaint concerning this invasion of privacy.
If you think it wise.
Is that all right?
That was beautiful.
Do we make a complaint?
But of course, Frank. We can't have those fascist pigs trampling on our rights. Can we, my pretty?
Well, if there's nothing else, Mr. Toller.
Now, off you go. And make that complaint direct to the Chief Constable. And Frank...
Mr. Toller.
Stay handy.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Royal. Mr. Toller. Hello, Peter. I thought you'd like to know that Robin and Batman have just left. Very upset they were, too. I expect they'll try you again next.
Don't worry. I'll be ready for him.
You good?
Down here, Sir Birmingham. Mr. Kingdom back yet?
No, he's not yet. Any luck with Toller?
Dead loss, sir.
I'm hardly surprised.
Would you tell Mr. Kingdom our Chief Constable's just had an official complaint from Toller's solicitor?
Has he now? What's the allegation?
Our usual rubbish, sir. Harassment. You tell Mr. Kingdom.
I will indeed. Thank you.
One complaint in the course of an investigation is nothing. Half a dozen are not unusual.
Perhaps not, sir, but all the same.
Furthermore, it's nothing to do with me. It's for Chief Constable Birmingham. In any case, nothing will be done about it till after the bank break inquiry is complete.
I know, sir, but I thought you should be put in the picture straight away. I mean, if Kingdom would listen to me...
Sit down, Piggott. Let's get a few things straight.
Yes, sir?
For a start, don't try and use me in your campaign against Kingdom.
Well, I'm not, sir, but... Well, I did think perhaps...
You thought what?
Oh, nothing, sir.
Come on, have the courage of your convictions. What did you think?
Well, sir, everybody knows that Kingdom is a protégé of Commander Bryant, a personal friend, in fact. And you and Mr. Bryant, sir? I mean, well, when next a Deputy Assistant Commissioner's chair becomes vacant, it's common knowledge that you and Mr. Bryant...
Common knowledge? Common gossip, you mean?
Well, I suppose so, yes, sir.
And because you've been listening to gossip, you thought it might suit me if Kingdom brought no reflected credit on Mr. Bryant.
Something like that, sir.
Piggott, you're a fool.
I'm sorry, sir. Obviously, I was wrong to approach you on this subject.
I wouldn't say that. Now, let's get this straight. I want this bag job cleared up, whatever happens. But if the credit happens to fall upon you personally...
I understand, sir.
Yes, Janet.
There's a Mr. Riley here, sir.
Riley?
He says you might know Miss Taters.
Oh, Taters. Yeah, send him in.
Blimey, Mr. Royal, can't you afford central heating?
Don't worry, Taters. If you're wasting my time, I'll warm you up.
Oh,
good.
just a little business thing, Mr. Royal.
Oh, you want to invest some money with me, do you?
I don't think you'd want my little wedge.
No, nor do I. So I ask myself, what Taters Riley, the well-known copper's snout, wants with me? Now, perhaps he fancies a couple of weeks in hospital.
Now, look, sir, they put it about that I'm a snap, but it's all lies. Straight it is.
Straight? Don't make me laugh. Well, come on, Taters, out with it. Time is money to me, and I'm a very mean man.
Well, you know that copper Kingdom?
Maybe.
He's working on that bank job.
So why should that interest me?
Oh, nothing meant, Mr. Royal, only there's another one with him, that Piggott, and I have heard that they ate each other's guts, that's all. Well, I just thought, something like that, sort of interesting, eh?
Have it away, Taters.
You couldn't spare a quid, I suppose.
Here.
Thank
Buy
you,
your
Mr.
copper
Royal.
friends a drink.
Oh, now look, miss...
Hey, wait a minute. Do you want to earn a few quid?
Oh, you know me, Mr. Royal, always available. What sort
Well,
of...
I want you to ring your copper friends.
Now, look, sir, I'll tell you, it's all
I want
lies.
you to ring your copper friends and tell them I done that bank job and that the money is in my safe.
Oh, Mr. Royal,
Do
no,
it,
no, I
Taters.
couldn't.
Now, when you've done it, you can call back for that.
Well...
Now, get out. Janet, you're a great big beautiful bird and I fancy you like mad. Get your coat on, we're going out for the night. I'm going to buy you a bottle of champagne.
Oh, yes, Mr. Royal.
Well, sir?
Well, what?
As you were asleep all the way back in the car...
Just thinking with my eyes shut.
Ah, well, in that case, did you come to any conclusion?
Yes. What about this? Toller and Royal are working together. Royal sets up a job in London, gives himself the perfect alibi. Toller comes down with a team and does the job.
I like it. Answers a lot of questions. In that case, Royal did the Birmingham job, a sort of an exchange deal.
Right. Now for the big question.
Where's the money?
Exactly. Now, when we visited Royal, we were too early. He hadn't yet done the Birmingham job. No wonder he was so confident. But suppose we called on him again.
Oh, I don't know. If we search Royal's place again and we still don't find the money, he's going to scream his head off.
Oh, let him scream.
If too many people scream too loud, Pickett's going to have that knife in.
How could he, even if he wanted to?
You know there are ways and means if you don't protect yourself. Do you know what Pickett was doing earlier this evening?
Do you?
George Patton told me as we came in. Mr. Pickett had a long session with the commander.
You frightened me to death. Come on, stop behaving like a politician in a panic. Get a car. We're going to call on Royal.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Oh, I thought I'd put you in the picture.
Everyone seems to be doing that this evening.
Perhaps not quite the same picture.
Perhaps. Well, it's not for me to interfere with your investigation, but I was sure you're wise to visit Royal again without anything more substantial to go on.
No, sir, I'm not sure, but I believe Royal's holding the money for the Birmingham job.
And if he isn't?
Well, then I expect I'll pick up another complaint.
Yes.
Right.
Kingdom. Don't pick up too many, will you?
I hope not, sir.
All ready, Governor?
Hang about.
What?
I want to think about it before I rush into it. Sleep on it, perhaps.
No, Governor, you were right.
Well, I'm glad somebody thinks so.
I've just had a tickle on the telephone. The snout who reckoned Royal for the job just rang. He says the loot is still in Royal's safe.
Is the car here?
Waiting.
Right.
Come in, gentlemen.
Sorry to have to trouble you again.
No trouble, Mr. Kingdom.
It's just that something else has cropped up. Well, you know how it is. It's annoying for you, I know, but I felt you really ought to have the chance of clearing your name.
Pardon?
Well, someone has suggested that you were involved in a bank robbery in Birmingham. Oh, it's rubbish, I know, but as I say, I really felt you ought to have the chance to prove your absolute innocence.
Oh, I see.
I mean, what can I do if people tell me these things?
It's all right. I know why you're here.
You do?
Yes. You're after what's in my safe.
Why the change of heart, Mr. Roy?
Well, I'm a businessman, Mr. Kingdom. I could lose a lot of clients if it got around the police were always dropping in.
You make me weep.
So, if we could come to some arrangement?
No deals, Royal.
I'll give you half what I've got in my safe.
All of it.
Every last pound.
But like you said, Mr. Kingdom, you want to give me a chance to prove my innocence, right? Now, if I can do that, will you two get off my back and leave me alone?
Of course. Now open the safe. That all?
About 100 quid.
It's all yours. Help yourself.
Get the others up. Tear this place apart. And the flat.
Now do me a favour, will you? Get out and stay out. Once if it gets around, the police are always dropping in.
You make me weep.
So, if we could come to some arrangement...
No deals, Royal.
I'll give you half what I got in my safe.
All of it. Every last pound.
Dave? Listen, I've got a job for you. Yeah, a tape recording of a conversation. What? No, I want you to put it on another tape and mess it about a bit. Yeah, you know, add a bit, cut a bit, twist a bit. What? No, it's about a minute, I reckon. Yeah, but I want it done now, like tonight, you know. Yes? Good boy. Yes, see you later. Bye.
Is that all? About 100 quid.
It's all yours. Help yourself.
Looking for Taters.
Who?
The snout who sent us back to Royal's place last night.
Yeah, do you reckon Royal put him up to it?
I don't know. But when I find him, he'll tell me.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Royal wanting us to search his place again, putting himself in the clear.
Yes, that's what I thought. Now he'll feel it's safe to go and collect the cash, which brings us back to the old question. If Toller hasn't got his lot and Royal hasn't got his, where is it?
Someone's holding it for them. But who and where?
Well, it's a fair bet it's somewhere out of town, between London and Birmingham, probably not too near either.
That's a lot of country. Now, who? Who would they trust?
No one. Now, wait a minute. One of my informants told me that 2 of Royal's men were missing.
Since when?
Since the first job. So suppose they're looking after the loot. 2 of Royal's men, 2 of Toller's as well, probably. Thing is, how did they get it there?
Yeah, well, almost certainly not by road. Toller was ready for that roadblock.
Well, that leaves rail. Or air, maybe.
Wait a minute. Where did they dump the van after the London job?
Camden Lane, wasn't it? Here.
Yeah, now they wouldn't walk far with the cash, so what's near there? Railway station, anything?
No, not really. Grand Union Canal, 2 streets away, that's about all.
Canal? Why not?
Huh?
You can still navigate all the way from London to the Midlands. And we didn't find a getaway car in Birmingham.
Well, how does that help?
Well, you came with me to the bank in Birmingham. What's right behind it?
Well, I'll be damned. A canal.
I think we're there. Go out and get me a British Waterways map.
Right. Where from?
Don't make difficulties, just get it.
I've had better breakfast than that in the nick. Come to think of it, there's not much difference, is there? Being inside or being here. Except, of course, in the nick you know when you're going to get out. Still, it can't be much longer now. I could certainly do with a change of view.
So I've sent Ward out to get me a map of the canal system.
Bit of a wild guess, isn't it?
It fits all the way down the line.
It fits nothing. Money's probably out of the country by now.
You're a real inspiration, aren't you?
It would have been more to the point to have one special branch, put a stop on the airports.
Do it now if you like, but you're wasting your time.
Well, better late than never. One of us has to keep his feet on the ground.
You won't believe what I had to do to get this.
Now get on to the collator's office of every force between here and Birmingham. Try Northampton first. Now, any reports of unusual activity along the canals? You know what we want.
Yeah, sure.
So, we can arrange delivery now, I think.
You're a pleasure to do business with, Peter. Shall we say 3 o'clock this afternoon?
Yeah, fine. I've just got to make a phone call to Scotland Yard first.
I don't like the sound of that, Peter.
Don't worry. Listen, I've heard that Kingdom and Piggott are at daggers drawn, so I'm going to put a bit of poison in. Keep them on their toes, you know what I mean? I'm going to tell Piggott that I've got a tape.
A tape?
Yeah. Listen, I'll tell you all about it when I see you.
We're in business. 3 weeks ago, a man with a London accent rented a nearly derelict cottage by the canal at Bolton Mill, here.
Spot on.
A few days later, the local PC stopped a car in the village because it wasn't displaying its road fund licence. The driver gave a Birmingham address, but a little while later, the PC saw the car parked outside the cottage.
Perfect. Get on to the local CID, arrange a posse. Oh, and get on to Chief Inspector Downey in Birmingham. No doubt he'll want to be in on the act.
You think they're collecting today?
Yeah, or very soon. Otherwise, why did Royal go through all that business of clearing himself last night?
Anything else?
Oh, yes, a car and a warrant.
Car, right.
Chief Superintendent Piggott, please. No, I want to talk to him personally. Tell him it's Peter Royal.
Piggott. Who? Oh, yes. Put him on. Hello, what can I do for you?
I'd like your advice, Mr. Piggott. It's about Mr. Kingdom. He's been trying to extort money from me.
Really? Do you have any proof?
Oh, yeah, I've got proof. Listen to this, will you? Well, I'm a businessman, Mr. Kingdom. I could lose a lot of customers if he got around the police were always dropping in.
There's a car waiting. They'll meet us with a boat at a lock just below the cottage.
Right. Hold on. Now, just wind that back, would you? I think you should hear this before you go.
What's that?
It's Royal.
What does he want?
He's claiming that you and Ward tried to get money out of him.
What?
He says you wanted him to pay you to keep off his back.
He must be out of his mind.
You can't think anybody would believe that, even you.
He has a recording. I think you ought to hear it. Would you just play that again, please? Someone else would like to hear it.
I've been thinking over what you said last time about coming to an arrangement. Would you leave me alone if I gave you half the money I've got in my safe?
All of it. Every last pound.
But there's a lot of cash in there. I drew it from the bank this morning, £5,000.
That's not...
It's a lot of money to pay out to avoid a police persecution.
You make me weep.
If I do, will you two get off my back and leave me alone?
Of course. Now open the safe.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Why the change of heart, Mr. Royal?
It's too dangerous. If anything gets out, you could accuse me of bribery, and besides, once you start paying protection to coppers...
Get the other men up. Take this place apart. And his flat.
You there, Ron?
Janet?
Yes, sir?
No more calls. I'm going out for the day down to Brighton.
Right, sir.
Oh, and if anyone from the police calls about a tape, give it to him. It's on my desk.
Hell did he do it? There wasn't a tape recorder there, I swear. We searched the place.
A small one. Miniature, perhaps.
Well, however he did it, Freddie doesn't sound so good.
It was a fake.
Was it?
Of course.
But you must have said what we heard you say.
Not in that order, not in that context.
And half the things he said were added later.
If you say so.
Can I speak to Mr. Royal, please? When? I see. All right, thank you. He's taking no more calls and spending the rest of the day in Brighton.
Brighton. Thinks it's all too easy.
Well, what about Royal's phone call? Aren't you going to do anything about it?
No. You are.
Me?
He phoned you. You reported.
The governor, surely.
No time. Don't argue. Come on.
Come in. What is it this time? You look as if you just won the pools.
No, it's unpleasant news, actually, sir.
Well?
Royal just telephoned me. Kingdom has asked him for money to stop the inquiries against him and leave him alone.
If Royal's trying to get himself off the hook, it almost certainly means he's your man.
Oh, yes, I realise that, sir. I think we can bring a charge quite soon. But I'm really much more concerned with how this must affect Kingdom.
Won't affect him at all. Every thief makes that kind of accusation, sooner or later. No one will believe it, if he's convicted.
Yes, but if it were true, sir.
Don't play games with me, Piggott. If you know something...
Royal has got Kingdom on tape. He played it back to me over the phone.
Does Kingdom know?
Oh, yes, sir, he was there. He heard it.
What did he say?
Told me to report it.
I mean, what did he say about the tape?
Oh, well, he claimed it was a fake.
It almost certainly is.
I don't know, sir. It sounded very convincing.
To you, perhaps. Where is Kingdom now?
Well, he's gone off the Midlands somewhere. He thinks he's got a lead.
All right. You go and get that tape.
Very good, sir.
Mr. Governor. Both of them. Right, that's it, lads. Time to go.
Hello, Alfie.
Dave, Fred, boy.
Are these the goodies?
That's it.
Take your pick, dear boy.
After you, old chap.
It's the law.
Right, we split up. You lads out that way behind us. Come on, move!
Well, any questions? Go on. Tell Daddy all about it.
Well, I hope their trial lasts for a month. Glad to see the two of them sweat.
You're supposed to be disinterested, you know. Well, come on. See what else we can find.
You want more evidence?
Can't have too much.
Governor, there's still that tape.
Yes, I'll drop you off at Royal's office on the way back. You can search the place, bring the tape back to the yard.
Having wiped it clean first.
No. We'll produce it in evidence against Royal.
But Governor, that tape's dynamite. If Royal sticks to his story and Pig gets his hands on it...
Pig?
Chief Superintendent Piggott.
Even Mr. Piggott would draw the line at trying to frame me.
Don't you believe it? He's after your job any way he can get it.
Where'd you hear that?
Well, it's common talk. Look, you know what he's like. We can't afford to let him get his hands on that tape or anyone else come to that. It's self-protection.
Look, I'm sorry. I know you mean well, but you're wrong.
Well, it's my neck as well, you know.
I'm aware of that. We can't destroy evidence.
Well, that evidence is going to destroy us. Look, Piggott's a political animal. You know he's hand in glove with Connor.
That's as may be.
Just as you are with Mr. Bright.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, Connor and Bryant are up for the next deputy's vacancy, right?
They're both in line, yes.
So, if one of Mr. Bryant's Bright boys, I'm sorry, but if you were to drop in it, that would benefit Connor's. He'd be odds-on favourite for the deputy's job, and Piggott would get the promotion that should be yours. Those two will crucify you, and I'll fall with you.
That's all very plausible. But look, I've been around a long time. I know what goes on. It's bad, but it's not that bad.
All wrapped up, sir?
I accept the paperwork.
And the knife in the back.
What was that?
Nothing.
They're sending a team round to turn the place over. Photographs, fingerprints, forensic, the lot.
Oh, good.
If you want to get back, I'll hang on here for them.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very nice clear-up, if I may say so.
You may, but I should have been onto it long ago. Well, thank you, Mr. Downey. Right.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
One rather odd thing just cropped up. I thought you ought to know about it.
Yeah?
When we searched Royal, we found he was carrying a miniature tape recorder.
Where is it?
Outside, with the rest of his stuff.
Right.
Wait. I'll take it with me, Mr. Downey.
Oh, I hear you got them both, Royal and Toller.
Yes, and the money.
All the money?
I believe so.
I hope so. I think you'll find that Mr. Connor will want a report from you soon.
Of course.
No, I mean about the other business, too.
Oh, what other business is that?
Royal's tape. I went and collected it.
I bet you did.
What was that?
Nothing, sir.
I'm afraid there'll be an investigation.
Naturally.
And I'm afraid it won't look too good for you.
You don't really think any investigating officer's going to believe that's a true recording, do you?
Who knows? And it is quite a coincidence, isn't it?
And what is?
That you arrested Royal on the day after he refused to pay up.
Except, of course, he didn't pay up, because he was never asked for money.
Ah, if only you could prove it.
Fortunately, I can. Found in Royal's pocket, with the original tape still on it.
So, if we could come to some arrangement.
No deals, Royal.
And there's a lot more beside. Well, Mr. Piggott, thank you for your help on the case. I don't think we need keep you any longer. I'd quite like to have my office to myself now.